And I'll start the recording. Yeah. Thank you so much to all the mentees who've joined us. Today's session is going to be very interesting because the topic is trading 101. So I'm assuming a lot of the mentees who have joined us today are interested in trading and understanding how trading also works. So we have Puneet, who is the founder of Fox Trading Solutions. So we're very excited to, understand how your journey is and give us a couple of pro tips into trading as well. So before we get started, Puneet, if you could just introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, Puneet this side from Fox Trading Solutions. So we are basically in the business of building some algos for prop clients and some retail clients. So a brief overview is we are into algo trading. So we would be covering what is trading and what is algo trading in the presentation which is scheduled now. And I'll be giving you a brief overview of what we do and what all services we provide in the presentation.
Lovely. All right. Thank you so much for joining us and finding time to do this webinar for our mentees. So this webinar is in collaboration with QFIS. QFIS is an organization that brings amazing mentors to help the mentees out in connecting with them, understanding more about the field, and getting a better idea as well. So if you're looking to connect with these mentors one on one, you can definitely head out to the QFIS page as well, the website. Before that, we'll start with the presentation. So, Puneet, I think you have a presentation, right?
Yep.
All right, lovely. So you can share your screen and take over.
Yeah, sure.
So, mentees, if you all have any questions, you all can post it in the Q&A section at the bottom. Puneet will be first presenting the presentation, and then we look into the mentee-related questions. So, any questions that come up, you all can post in the Q&A section.
Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah. Let's start.
perfect.
Rather an interesting topic from the journey where I started. So it is like close to my heart, trading 101. So we will start from the basics and we'll cover till like algo trading. So let's begin. So a brief introduction of the securities market. So our market is like the eighth largest in the world, and it consists of equity, debt, and derivative segment. So we can trade as individuals, corporates, foreign institutional investors, and many other uh, versions of it. So there are three types of markets which we would be covering about. So one is primary market, there is secondary market, third is a derivatives market. So this is the basic structure of markets. So the security market consists of, as we have already discussed, equity market, debt market, and derivatives. So in equity market, there is a primary equity market which consists of IPOs. So whenever some company wants to list themselves onto the stock exchange, so they need to bring in their initial public offering and they need to offer their shares to the public. So this is about the primary equity market. The secondary equity market is like what we trade in day out, and that's happens on the exchange, NSE exchange. And the second market is debt market. So it is majorly governed by the banks, and on that the derivatives instruments on bonds and FDs are traded. So these securities consist of government securities, corporate debt, money market, and all those things. And the third market, which is the most complex one, is the derivatives market. So it consists of some options and futures. So this is the toughest when we trade in the options and futures market. And we would be covering the basics, so we would be going on to options and futures for now. So first of all, what is primary market? So in this market, companies come to offer their shares, debentures, and other securities to investors for long-term capital. So this is also called as the new issue market because we are going for a new issue. And the other market is the secondary market. So we are just covering the basics. So it's a theoretical stuff. And so the secondary market is we go on buying and selling the securities. So the transaction is done between the buyer and the seller. And the medium for buying and selling would be a stock exchange, which acts as intermediary between like a buyer and seller. So the purpose of this is providing liquidity and standardization of contracts. And there is also some clearing corporations and depositories which holds our shares. The reason being to protect the interest of investors. So we have some exchanges like DSC, NSC, um, MCX, and we have some depositories like CDSL, NSDL, which holds our shares for our benefits. And so some basic about what is stock market. So stock market is a place where securities are traded. Securities can be stocks, bonds, options, futures, commodities, whichever instrument we can trade in. So all the securities are listed on stock market, and it's a virtual exchange. So virtual exchange of securities, which we have discussed. And so what are stocks? Stocks are like the ownership in the company. So whenever we buy a stock, we are buying a stake in the company, and we can claim the company's assets and earnings whenever, uh, in the case of winding up a company or in any other case. So we are like the owner of the company, and we can just raise our voice. So there are annual general meetings where we have some voting rights onto it, and we can just vote uh, for like what should be the decision in the AGM and all those things. So we are like the owner of the company, and we have some voting rights. We have some stake in the company. And why do people buy stocks? So buying stocks is like we are keeping it for investment. So we have heard from our ancestors like we buy stocks like for capital appreciation, and we hold it for a longer time, and that gives us a fantastic return. So there are two parts of buying of capital inflow from buying a stock. So one is capital appreciation, second is the dividend payments. So capital appreciation means when we buy a stock at say suppose 100, it moves to 200. So that's capital appreciation. And the dividend payments is like whenever a company declares some earnings, so they distribute a part of their profits as dividends to us. So that's dividend payments. And we have the ability to vote and influence the decisions of the company. So what is a stock exchange? So stock exchange is like where there are stockbrokers and traders who trade on the securities like bonds, shares, and commodities and many other things. So stock market provides us the facility to issue the redemption of securities, and we can just settle out the payment of income and dividends. So we have one of the biggest exchange in India. That's National Stock Exchange. So that's about the National Stock Exchange. It was incorporated in 1992, and with an act of 1993 under the Securities Act 1956. And we have some derivative segment which comes in like June 2000. So what is trading? So trading is the process of buying and selling the securities. So there are two processes. One is selling, that is called delivery, and one is purchasing, that is called receipt. And so the process. So we have heard about trading, like we can do trading, but nobody knows the way, like how can we start trading. So I'll just go through the way. How can we start the trading process? Firstly, we have to approach either a broker or a bank, and inquire about the depository participants, or in general terms it is said like a demat. So you can go over and ask for a demat account, and just open a demat account with them. They will provide you with a user ID and password, so you can just start online trading onto their terminal. So they'll provide you with a terminal, and there you can just buy and sell shares as per your analysis or convenience. And you can just contact us to Fox Trading Solutions. We are like sub brokers of Zerodha and Alice Blue, and we can just help you in opening an account. So this is about the trading process, and this explains us like how a trade is. Uh, uh, so how can we place a trade? So first of all, we what we do is we submit an order. So the order goes to exchange. Uh, then the exchange confirms the trade. Then it goes to brokers, and the brokers also confirms the trade. And at the end of the day, what we receive is a mail or email confirmation that this is the statement of your trading, the whole day trading, and we can just confirm that we have traded this much shares and this much amount. So this is all about the process. So firstly, we place a trade, then that goes to exchange, then the broker confirms, and then at the end of the day, we receive some mails for the confirmation. So this is the trading process. So we have to place an order. So there are various methods. The written order is obsolete in the current scenario. We can place an order through phone or electronically, and we can place the transaction as using the terminal. So and the we have a order book, which is like a report. So it can give us an overview of the securities which are trading, and we have a order book where we can see all the transactions we have made, and we can also verify the trades. And we have some exchange clearing members, which uh, gives us an overview of how the margins are calculated, what are the gains and losses, what are the fees. So they give us all these things on the daily basis. And there are member clear clients. So they provides us with the clearing report on the daily basis. So what all options we have while trading in the markets? So first is equities, derivatives, and the mutual fund. They are traded in the exchange traded form, but usually there is no liquidity. Liquidity is means the trading on that mutual fund happens very rarely. So people tend to invest in mutual funds, but there is a exchange traded fund also. So we can trade onto mutual funds also. So equities is referring to buying and selling of stocks by individuals or firms, and what we can expect it from this is dividends and capital gains. And the derivatives markets is like futures and options market, and the value of the derivatives are derived from stocks. So stocks serves as an underlying, and the value of every future and every option is derived from the underlying, which is stock. And there are various forms of trading. So there are predominantly three types of traders. One is day trader, who the day trader is who trades on intraday basis. Intraday means within the day. So they square off the position and within the day. Square off means they create a position at 9:20 when the market starts, 9:15 or 9:20, and before 3:15 they need to square off their position. So they are day traders. So they take the position in the morning, and by evening they square off their positions. And second is swing traders, which trade for a longer time span than day traders, and they trade for a week or few weeks. So they are like the major ones, because all the FIs, foreign institutional investors, and the domestic institutional investors are swing traders only. So they trade for a longer time frame, and they are if we can just ride with that trend, we can just earn a lot of money. And we have investors who trade the securities and keep it for few years or few years. So trading can be of two types. First is delivery based, and second is intraday. So there is a difference between intraday and delivery. So as I have already explained, so intraday means you can buy or sell the stock in a day, so same day. But when we are taking the delivery, we can take it overnight, and we can carry forward the trade for any number of days you want. So, and the second advantage of trading in intraday is we have lower brokerage charges, and on delivery we have higher brokerage charges. And on the margin front, intraday is we receive a margin benefit. So in India, it is termed as leverage. So we get a leverage of like 10x, 20x, 30x, or even 100x on the stocks we buy for intraday. So that's a whole game of leverage, and we can just buy 100 times of the amount we have in our account by using leverage. And on delivery, we have to like pay the full amount, and the shares will be credited onto our. So our delivery-based trading model is like a safer approach. The reason being, we are trading the amount we have with us, and it is like we are safer because leverage is like a poison, you can say. Whenever like we are trading 100 times and we get some losses onto our capital, so the losses accumulate, and it can wipe out our account in the matter of minutes. So delivery based is the safest thing, or without leverage is the safest thing when we are trading for the first time, or like we are novice. So we can opt for delivery based trading, and you so delivery based trading involves buying and selling of the shares in the demat account. And intraday trading is like we buy sell the positions in like single day, and at the end of the day your position is always zero because you have just bought it in the day and sold within the day. So overnight, no overnight positions. So intraday trading is like we have zero positions overnight every day. And so we have an example of intraday trades. So we buy a share of XYZ, and we are indulging in the trading. So the difference between the sale and sales price and the purchase price is the gains and losses. So what we make from intraday is like uh, the purchase minus sales is what we gain. And so what type of orders we can place in trading? So there are two types of orders. There are more type of orders too apart from this, but the relevant ones are like two. So one is market order, second is limit order. So market order is like there is a bid ask. So uh, bid ask means if you are going to buy something, so you can buy. So if the share is trading at 100, and so bid ask would be like 99.9 and 100.10, because you have to pay a slippage part. So slippage is like there is a difference, always a difference between the buyer and seller. So buyer wants to buy at the lower price, seller wants to sell at the higher price. So there is always a negotiation that is going on between the buyer and seller, and that's why the buyer tries to like get a bargain for what it is buying, and the seller wants to like sell for higher and higher price. So that creates a bid ask. So bid ask is like we need to pay whenever we are buying for a market order. And limit order is like we can just place a price, like the if the stock is trading at 100 and if I want to buy it at 40, so I can just write in like we can go for a limit order and we can buy it at 40 whenever the price goes over there. So that's a limit order, and we can use the limit order for that purpose. So in the market order, the market defines at what price we will be trading the underlying, and in limit order we are deciding what price we want to buy. So this is all about market and limit order. So there are like this is all about buying and selling the stocks. So there are various methods of buying and selling. So either we go and randomly buy something on either some news, some tips, but that's not the way we trade the instruments. So we do some analysis on the instruments and then go and buy or sell the instruments. So that's a part of our analysis. So there are two types of an analysis predominantly. The basic two types as like fundamental analysis and technical analysis. So fundamental analysis is what we use for the long term. The long term means long term in the sense we analyze in a fundamental analysis. We go and check their balance sheet, P&L, profit and loss statements, cash accounts, and all those things, and analyze like how is the management, and in the long term how can the company grow and all those things. So it is a pretty longer time frame product, and so it is like used by some of the analysts, but most of the analysts have like moved to technical stuff. So technical analysis is like for made for day traders and short-term traders. Reason being, we can just analyze it within the span of 5 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, whichever time frame we want. So there are different time frames from starting from 1 minute, and it can go up to 4 hours, 1 hour, and day, month. So we can just explore it using charts. So there are various types of charts which are available in the market, and that's in the previous time it was known as tape reading. Now it's known as chart reading. And just an introduction of like what is technical analysis. So technical analysis is like we are generating some stats out of the past price and volume to come at a conclusion that which tools will be like helping you in buying and selling the stock. So we have always a question that should I take a long position? Should I buy the stock? Should I sell the stock? What would be the price tomorrow, next year? So all these things is like what we need to analyze using technical analysis. So for technical analysis, there are various indicators which generate some cell signals. So we would be covering a few of them. One is like a moving average, cost crossover, divergence, convergence. Second is like RSI, relative strength index. Third is on balance volume, and fourth is Bollinger Bands. So there are various types of technical indicators, and all have their pros and cons. So if one indicates momentum, another indicates like the strength of momentum. Momentum is like if the trend is going on, how fast is the trend? So that's momentum. So all the four indicators indicate different things, and we would be like seeing. So there is a research paper. So you can go through these research paper and like see what all technical indicators are linked to the investment classes for technical analysis, and what all indicators are there for short-term trading or day trading. So a basic indicator is like moving averages. So there are two types of, in fact, there are various types of moving averages. So moving average is equivalent to the mean. So we have like read in books, like we have mean of n periods. So whenever the stock price goes above mean of like 200 periods, so that's a norm. So which has been established after like researching for quite a while, that whenever the stock price is like about 200-day moving average, so the stock is termed as a bullish stock. And whenever the stock is below the 200-day moving average, we term it as a bearish stock. Bullish and bearish means that bullish is a term for uptrend, and bearish is a term for downtrend. So whenever we go to like see what is the average of the stock, we can just see that is it above the moving average or is it below the moving average. So if it is above the moving average, we will look for buy signals. Otherwise, we would ignore that stock. And the second one is like exponential moving average, which is like so the weightage of the past data like decreases when we go on moving on, and we give higher weightage to the current. So this is just a graph of like a simple moving average. So what we can see from here is like we can buy when the stock crosses like moving average, and we can just sell when the stock is like crosses on the downside from the moving average. So the second indicator which we need to cover is moving average, crossover, divergence, and convergence. So there are so in this we have two lines. So one is 12 days, second one is 26 days. So it gives a refined signals. So whenever the short term moving average is above the long term, short term is 12 days, long term is 26 days. So whenever the short term moving average is about uh, the long term, we look for buy signals. Otherwise, we'll look for the sell signals. So we can just demonstrate it in a different panel to just look into like if it is bullish or bearish. So it is like it has a zero mark and it can go from +2 to -2. So we can just see how the stock trend is. It bullish or it is bearish. So if the shorter term moving average is above the longer term, it is bullish. Otherwise, it is bearish. And how we can just trade using MACD. So in this graph, we have used like 9 and 26 time frame. And so whenever the 9 is above 26, we buy. And whenever the 9 is below 26, we sell. And so we have some bands, Bollinger Bands, which is like a standard deviation of like moving average. So uh, a normal distribution is like about two. So the two standard deviation has like 95% probability. So we assume that the stock would remain in the two standard deviation band, and that's why we plot Bollinger Bands. So I'll just show you how the band looks. So it has like 95% probability of success. So what we can do is, so we can assume simply that the stock will remain in this band. So whenever the stock price touches any of the band, the lower or the higher band, we can just go on buying and selling. So whenever like the stock price crosses above the band, we can sell that stock. And whenever the stock crosses below the lower band, we can just buy that stock. So this is all about the Bollinger Bands. So a simple demonstration like how the Bollinger Bands perform. So Bollinger Bands like they can be broken. So a demonstration of like the probability and how they perform. So uh, the another indicator is like relative strength index. It was built by a Wells Builder, and it has two ranges. Like it varies from 0 to 100. So from 0 to 30, it is oversold. From 70 to 100, it is overbought. So it is like a reversal indicator. Whenever the stock moves from 0 to 30 band, it is a bullish signal, and we go on buying that stock. Whenever the stock crosses above 70 and is below 100, we just look for sell signals, and we look at as a reversal. So this is like a chart of overbought and oversold zone. So whenever the stock goes on to like overbought zone, we just short that stock. And whenever the stock comes into the oversold zone, we look for buying opportunities. So this is a chart of RSI, and we can just see this example like how the overbought and oversold zones work. And so introduction of algo trading. So we have covered the basics of like algo trading. So trading is all about analyzing the stock and deriving some inferences out of it and buying and selling something out of it. So we have covered like four technical indicators, namely MACD, RSI, and all those things. So what people do generally is like they trade on the basis of all these indicators in different ways, and so there is like they generalize a concept like, so they form a hypothesis is like whenever the stock goes above 70 in RSI, we will sell that stock. So what they do is they keep on tracking the scripts and day in day out, and they just keep a track of like 5 6 scripts, and they just keep on tracking it day in day out. So that's how they do the trading stuff, because they have like faith in uh, their hypothesis is what the hypothesis is. Whenever the RSI goes above 70, there is a sell signal, and we'll sell that stock. So uh, we have like advanced in algo. We have like advanced stuff. We moved from bits to electronic trading, and now we have algo trading. So in algo trading, what we do is we define the logic in computer, and in computer, what we do is we feed the logic that whenever the RSI goes above 70, we can sell the stock, and the process is like repeated daily on daily basis. So we make custom algos for people like, so whatever logic they suggest us, we build it. And what is the advantage of this is they can reduce their time dedicated to by just tracking the scripts. So they can reduce that time, and they can decrease the price, and so we can define the rules, and we can generate some profits out of it. So most of the algo traders are like profitable, reason being they put in risk first, and the emotional quotient and human activities are like eradicated. So we as humans have emotions. So whenever the losses appear on my screen, even now, I am like it won't go down that much because I have faith in the company. But the losses keep on accumulating, and at the end of the day, what happens is I just go out with a loss. So our emotion quotient play comes into play, and that's why algo trading is like the next future. So the computer has no emotions whenever we feed in the prices, like buy 100 and the stock price goes below 90, sell it anyhow. So that's about algo trading. So we have like, it is also known as quantitative high frequency trading, algorithmic trading. So it has different names. So what are the benefits? That it is fast, so the trades are executed at the best possible price. It is accurate, so uh, not like us uh, that we can just make some silly mistakes and like typing, and we can so it's fast, it's accurate, and so and it grabs the prices at the that very instant, and it avoids the significant price changes that is termed as slippage and the trading term. And so we have reduced transaction costs. We can trade multiple instruments, multiple markets. So the advantage of this is we can trade on multiple instruments, like that can go even in lakhs, and we have reduced risk of manual errors. We can backtest the algorithms and formulate a hypothesis on the basis of it. Uh, Backtesting means we are testing the algos like in the on the past data. So if the thing has worked on past, and we assume that it will work on future also. So that's backtesting, and we have like reduced possibility of mistakes that we have already discussed. So something about our company, we are like a team of people who have handled a huge amount of fund, and we work on a prop desk. So proprietary desk is like where we manage money of the institutions. That could be domestic institutional investors or foreign institutional investors. And we have like been into the markets from several years. And um, so we are like, we believe on think, test, and deploy methodology. So we think on like a logic. We test that logic onto the historical data, and we just make an algo and use it for execution purpose. So the main goal of our team is like generating some ideas, testing it, and the deployment is the last part, because whenever the strategy is approved, then only we deploy it onto our server, and that's all the process is. And we have a co-located infrastructure in NSC, and we are authorized partner of Zerodha and Alice Blue, and we are SEBI registered equity derivative analyst. And what we offer is custom algo designing, some investment solutions. We are into portfolio hedging. We conduct some courses on stock market and algo trading, and we manage profits. So that's how the things work, and that's what we offer. That's it. So that's all from my side, I
Lovely.
guess.
I think that's very, very interesting, Puneet. Thank you so much for sharing that information. I think all the mentees who joined us have a couple of questions, but it was very informative in terms of how trading works, what are the kinds of tradings, and it was very. I can see some of the comments as well. Your teaching was very nice, and would they would want more in detail probably later. Puneet, there are a couple of questions that have come up from the mentees. So
Hmm?
if you are okay with answering them.
Yeah, sure.
Lovely. Okay. So Tanvi is asking, is Demat account separately for separate broker or bank?
So for separate brokers, we have separate demat accounts, and we can just open various demat accounts with various brokers. But the suggested one is like we can have at most two accounts, one for investment and one for trading. And if we like open more than two accounts, then that's a headache for us.
Okay. All right. Somebody is also asking how to go about with trading.
How to go about?
How to go about trading. So I think very briefly, if you can just run us through how to go about trading.
So trading is like buying and selling of shares. So what we do at Fox Trading Solutions is we do some technical analysis, and on the basis of that, we take some buying and selling decisions on the basis of some technical indicators. So we can start with this.
Okay. All right. So somebody also wants to know what are the career options in trading?
So career options is like we can start trading onto our own money. We can manage funds for clients. We can go into algo trading. We can train people. There are various verticals to it. And if you just want to pursue something like FRM or actuaries, you can go for that. So there is a whole different market for that. We can go on pricing the bonds, options, and all those things. So there are vast opportunities for this.
Okay, all right, that's very interesting. Uh, are there any courses where the mentees can learn about trading, or that you have probably gone through or you know of?
So little bit ourselves. So we also conduct some algo trading courses, some basic stock market courses, and the courses on derivatives. Or you can go on to Udemy. There would be some basic stuff available over there, and you can just go on and learn from there. And there is a page of Varsity from Zerodha, VARSITY. So there you can learn the basic stuff.
Okay, all right. So Nikhil is also asking, what is the best platform to open a demat account for a beginner in trading?
So the beginner is like he wants to see what is going on to the markets. So the best one would be Zerodha. So this is one of the largest brokers, and the user interface and the training part, like after the account opening and our hand holding process is like the best one. So Zerodha is like the first priority. Second would be the Upstocks, and third would be Alice Blue.
Okay, all right. So I can see a couple of specific questions. Can you please explain candlestick chart?
So candlestick chart is like we receive some text. Text is like prices. So whenever a buyer or seller like transacts, so that's a tick. So what we receive from the exchange is like some ticks over the period of time. And what we do is we do some sampling and we convert it into the open high low close. So if like a stock is trading at 100 at 9:15 and it closed at 120 in the at the end of the day. So opening would be 100, the closing would be 120, and the high would be the maximum of that, and the low would be the minimum of that.
Okay, all right. So Mithul is also asking, why to trade in intraday? Because
Hmm.
all feature of intraday is in delivering orders. Can we
Hmm.
buy and sell in the same day in delivery orders? And if
Hmm.
yes, then what is the difference in intraday? Also, mostly there's no brokerage in delivery, but there is brokerage in intraday.
So intraday is like we get some leverage out of it, and there are various brokers who do not charge anything for intraday. So apart from Zerodha, is like many other brokers are there which do not charge for intraday, and we get some leverage for that. So that's why we just opt for intraday. Otherwise, delivery is for longer term, and we can just hold on to the position for longer term.
Okay. So Sean is also asking, some days during intraday trading, the stock prices rocket up within the first 10 minutes. So do you usually sell it off immediately after this happens or risk losing out on the profits by holding them on until later on into the day?
Uh, that depends on what we perceive. Like, so we have some custom algos and we have some back-tested logic. So what we do is we tell the system that do this if the scenario appears, and do that if the scenario appears. So all are like pre-built logic, and we do not react to like spikes. So we have some trailing stop loss kind of things. If we have a position that's in profit, so we do trail the profits until the time the position reverses.
Okay. So Raghav is also asking, does everyone use algo trading now and what kind of disadvantages does it have?
So algo trading, so in on the retail space, we are like lacking behind from US and other countries, and we have like a penetration of less than 10% for retail traders, but on the institutional level, it's like 70%. And the disadvantages is like speed, because a order when we place from our side, and if it contains some errors, so it happened with me also. So it plays like 371 orders in 2 minutes. So that's a disadvantage. So speed is like an advantage and a disadvantage too.
Okay, all right. There are a couple of other questions. So Braj is asking, what's basic money threshold value to start trading? Example like 10K or something like that.
So that depends. If you are trading some cash instruments, you can start with 1,000. If you are trading options or futures, so that would attract a capital of 2 lakhs. So if you are starting up 1,000 investment for cash segment is what I would suggest. And if you are like some skill type and you have worked on stock market for like 2 3 years, I would like to suggest you for futures and options and a 2 lakh of minimum investment.
Okay, all right. So Sami is also asking, do we need a broker or is it possible to start trading by yourself?
No, broker is like an intermediary which sends the order to exchange. So we always need a broker while sending orders.
Okay, all right. Ronnie is also asking how to build an algorithm for trading psychology. Any courses for that, or we have to go for a professional?
Uh, s- Once again, we do offer the courses on like algo building, and there are some courses available. So psychology part is what algo handles very proficiently, because the algo doesn't have emotions, so psychology doesn't comes into play. And so algo trading is like we do it in Python, and we can program all our algos in Python.
Okay. All right. So I see a couple of other questions on should I directly get into stock market or should I do a mock trading on the available platforms?
So mock trading is like you can do it for 2 3 days, but that won't work. Reason being the emotion quotient which comes into play when the real money is involved is different, and when we are just playing it for fun, that's different. So mock trading is like we can just learn the basics. How can we buy or sell? But the real feel of what we do is only in when you start trading with your own money.
Okay. So Teek is also asking how do we pick stocks?
Interesting question. So we uh, there are various methods to pick the stocks. So one is like there is a pre-open session which happens on like 9 from 9 to 9:15, and from there we can just see which stocks are opening at which prices, and we can look on to like top 5 gainers and losers on the NSE website, and that's how we can just cherry pick the stocks. So some momentum stocks, some delivery based there are many algorithms for this. So that won't be like feasible in 5 to 10 minutes. So we will have a separate session for that.
Okay. So Ratnesh is also asking, what is the difference between margin and leverage trading?
So margin is like the broker provides you all the funds and you can trade on that fund. So that's margin. Leverage is like intraday leverage, what broker provides in intraday. So for margin, we have to deposit some funds, and it attracts some interest. And on leverage, we do not have to pay any interest onto it. So apart from brokerage, we do not have to pay any interest.
Okay. So what is the accuracy of trading analysis?
Trading.
Analysis.
So accuracy. So the best accuracy which I have seen is like 95%, but on an average, what we can say is like 40 to 60% is the average accuracy of a normal analyst.
Okay. So somebody's also asking, any platform for mock trading that you know of?
So what you can do for mock trading is you can just put zero balance in your account and you can just fire trades. So that's the desi way of like mock trading. So you can just go and buy some shares and it would get rejected and it would reflect in your order. So that's how we can do it.
Okay. So somebody's also asking, what is the success percentage of a MACD indicator?
So you can say it varies between 30 to 40%, and it has a risk to reward of 1 is to 2.5. So that's how MECD works.
Okay. What about how can we start a career as a technical analyst?
So if somebody wants to start a career in technical analyst, so first is like they should understand the basics of stock market, and second is like there are various books available in the market, which like give some fair idea about what all indicators are and analyze what all indicators are there for which purpose, and that's how we can just so manual observation is what is required. So we even now sit in front of screen to observe and see what all things are going on, and we try to drive some inferences from it.
Okay. So for a first-time investor, what should be the approach to Bitcoins or equivalent cryptocurrency mode of trading?
uh, so for the first timer, what Bitcoin is what we do not trade in, but I would like to suggest that Bitcoin is not there for an investment. So it's very volatile commodity. Uh, so trading is quite risky, but you can do start with trading.
Okay, all right. So coming to the last question, somebody's asking any recommended books on investing except Benjamin Graham's Intelligent Investor?
So that's the holy grail type of thing. So that's the ones that is most sufficient. So you can just read it over and over again, and so that would teach you how to invest. Apart from that, you do not need anything if you can have gone through like for 4 or 5 times. So that's the holy grail, and you can go through it many times. So I have personally gone through like 10 times.
Okay, all right. So I think Menti can definitely go through that book as well. It might help you all out. One more question has just come up. Which programming language is used mainly for algorithm training? Training.
Predominantly it's Python, and apart from that, C++.
Okay, all right. Lovely. So I think that's all the questions we had. It was a very informative session. I think even I learned something about trading. Very, very informative and very easily you explained every concept. And I'm sure the mentees have also had a very good time in learning something new as well. So thank you so much, Puneet, for taking time out to, doing this session for us and, inspiring the mentees to, trade and move into trading as well. So do you have any last words for the mentees?
Uh, just trade safe and do keep in mind the risk element.
Okay, lovely. So mentees, you put down a feedback form. So if you can just let us know about your feedback from the webinar and what kind of topics would you also be interested in. So a huge shout out to the QFIS team as well for arranging amazing mentors like Puneet to deliver these kind of sessions to you also. If you're looking for any one-to-one mentorship or want to get connected to mentors in the field, you all can definitely check out the QFIS website and arrange for a call as well. So thank you so much once again, Puneet, for taking time out to do this session with us.
Most welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day and stay safe.